Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stop.Sit.Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen. Friday Facts. Today we're going to talk about failed transfers. And unfortunately, some girls got really sick. There's something going around. But we're so grateful that we get to talk to Mary. So do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got involved with surrogacy?
Yes. So my name is Mary Johnson. This is my first surrogate journey. I was trying to think back to when I heard about surrogacy, and probably it was like Phoebe on Friends or like Baby Mama. Baby Mama was one of my favorite movies. I mean, it's horribly inaccurate, but
yeah, totally. But it's great.
Entertainment value.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
I love those girls. That's about it.
How cool. Well, congratulations on your first journey. And you're about to be due next month. So how exciting.
Yes, about to pop.
Yes, that's so exciting. Sending you all good vibes and healthy delivery, and that COVID doesn't get in the way of all this.
Yes. Yeah. Good old COVID.
Ugh, never gonna go away. Never. But all right. So unfortunately, let's have a sad conversation of failed transfers. So you said that this is your first journey, so you had a failed transfer before it took?
Yes. We did one in December, the beginning of December. And I mean, I struggled when I was trying to get pregnant I have 3 of my own babes. And my first, it took about 2-ish years. And then my other 2 were literally surprises. One time. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm just a fertile myrtle now."
Oh my gosh.
So I just really had not experienced in so long that trying process so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into it. And obviously it's completely different trying process. I don't want to make sure to clear that air. But really wanting and really, really hoping to get pregnant, and then it just not working.
Right.
And so, and I went into it knowing that it was possible that it could not work. But I had lots of symptoms, and it was rough. Especially because I had told the parents, it was something that I felt pretty strongly about, that I had told them I wouldn't test at all unless they wanted me to test. Aww. And if that was the case, that however they wanted to be involved in that process, if they wanted me to film it, do a Zoom, FaceTime, whatever, or if they wanted to wait for the beta results, basically I really felt like so much of the control had been taken from them. And as much as I could give, help that process.
Yeah.
And so the mom had said, the dad he was pretty indifferent. But the mom was like, "I think I'm good to wait for beta results." And so I was like,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I went.
Oh gosh. You have the strength and the willpower to wait.
Oh girl, I am as stubborn as an ox. When that and once I had said it because I knew that I would not have done it if I had not said it to her.
Okay.
Because then I was like, I can't lie. I told her I wouldn't do it. So we had betas on the 10th day. And when I went in, I even got the first appointment they had. I think it was at 7 a.m. Because we were like, let's get them, in just a few hours. And I walk in and I'm telling them, if this could be expedited. And she's like, "Oh, it can't be. We send it tonight to San Diego and then you'll get the results tomorrow." So I was like, "Oh, no."
Bummer. Yeah.
So I told the parents, and the mom was like, "You know what? We've waited this long. Let's do a pregnancy test if you're down." I was like, "I'm down." So we FaceTimed, which, that was, it wasn't as hard and as awkward as it sounds. Okay. But I remember talking to them, and I could just kind of I could glance down and see it. And I was like, "There's no line. There's no line. Oh my God, there's no line. There's no line." And so they were just, they were so sweet. And they were like, "Yeah, maybe, maybe." And I was like, "It's not the first T. Most likely, we are 10 days past." And they were like, "Yeah, we'll see." And so Yeah, we didn't get the call until the next day that it was for sure a no-go.
Had they tried before, like themselves?
Yeah, so they have not shared too much. I know
Yeah.
just with like, going to the fertility doctor, he would, and like in my contract, it just says, they tried. I don't know to what extent, how many years, the different routes they tried, but I know that it was something that she desired for sure to be able to carry their babies. Yeah.
Can I ask how you felt
Yeah.
in that moment?
Um, I felt I felt really sad. Most of my sadness was for them though. Because I still felt sad for the process. And so anytime that I was like, well, as sad as I feel, like it's magnified because it was their embryo. And just to hear another, nope, not this time. But they were so sweet. Not once. I know I've heard of some stories of it. The intended parents turning on, like, well, even Ellen, I've heard your story that they were like, well, what did you do?
Right. Yep.
And they were just like,
Oh, so sweet.
we'll try again. And, if you're ready. And I was like, I'm ready when you're ready. So
that was a pretty quick try again then, because if you're due in the end of October.
Yeah. They got cleared. Their doctor, they talked with him. And I was ready. I said, as soon as you guys are ready, I'm ready. And so as soon as we could, so it was the beginning of February. So like 2 months, almost exactly 2 months after. Yeah.
Great.
Oh, go ahead, Mom.
I just kind of wanted to finish it up there with, so that time when you had the transfer, and did you wait 10 days? Did you go do the beta, or did you test ahead of time?
Well, I still stuck with what I said because I said it the first time, but I knew it was going to be so much harder because it was really hard. With my own, I waited. I mean, even with my daughter, I had my first daughter, the one that we had tried for quite a few years. I'd had so many negatives that even when I finally got the positive with her, it was like after my missed period because I was just so done with the testing and it being negative, but then still holding out hope of like, well, maybe my period won't come. So again, I never really, there wasn't, I'm not one of those like multiple testers. And once I test once, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm pregnant. But I knew this 2-week wait. I was like, oh, it was hell. It was so hard. But this time she did. The mom said, I think it was on day 6. She said on day 6, if you don't mind taking a test and then sending a picture to me. And she said, and then I'll wait. If it's a positive, we'll wait till it gets darker. And then I'll show my husband afterwards. Cause he took it a bit harder.
Okay.
I think, just knowing them, their personalities.
Yeah.
And I think she just being the woman, I feel the one who goes through it physically. I think she's so much more guarded as far as getting her hopes up, which it's just heartbreaking. So heartbreaking.
It is.
So on day 6, I woke up at like midnight. I could not sleep. And I was like, well, this is technically the next day.
Oh my God.
So I took it. And well, because the other thing is like, I have to pee. And if I pee now and then I pee later, like it won't be as concentrated. I want like as concentrated as it is. So I took it and then I waited. I think I waited until like 5 a.m. I was like, I need to wait at least a somewhat reasonable amount of time for her. And I got to send her the picture but the same, she was still very guarded. She's like, okay, let's wait until it gets darker. And then on day 8, it was darker. But she was like, I'm going to wait till the beta to tell him. And I think she still waited like another day or so after.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so sweet though. And now happiness.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, but when it came time, so like, 'cause I don't know how it works then, but maybe in your situation it's different because I don't really know. But like when you get the beta, they're not making you tell the intended parents. They're gonna give the intended parents that information, right? Like you're not the one that has to break the news.
Correct. So the blood work, I'm trying to think. they call, okay, so it's literally, I feel like my memory is gone.
Pregnant brain.
Exactly. Oh, it's so true. So the orders, the lab orders were to contact the fertility clinic, and they called the intended parents first, and then they called me.
Okay.
But the mom was so sweet. She would always text me and be like, they just called and here's the number.
So funny. So
Yeah.
cute.
And then I would get the call from the clinic and I was like, oh, I know. I'm so excited.
Nice.
And they're like, oh, okay.
That's great.
That's
That's
great.
very cool.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, well, we haven't ever talked about my mom's. My mom had my mom. Well, my mom kind of had like a secret journey that like we never like touched base on.
Ooh.
But it was a failed transfer, and so it's completely opposite of what you went through.
Yeah.
So this was your only heterosexual couple that you worked with.
Yeah, it was.
And how did that go then?
And it was my third, it was going to be the third journey, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was after
it was
the triplets.
one right after. It was going to be the one right after the triplets.
Triplets, right. So they were really sweet. I had a really hard time agreeing to work with a heterosexual couple. I agreed. I was like, okay, let me meet them. I did. Super sweet people. They had been through a lot of heartache, a lot, and they had one embryo left. So way back in the day, we're talking 20 years ago, right? Or 18. Just one, you're really setting yourself up to fail. I hate to say that, but back then you did, because you needed a couple just to make one could take. So we went in all positive, and I of course had tons of tests, and I started testing and didn't tell anybody, and nothing was coming up. With the other pregnancies was coming up really fast, right? So I'm like, this isn't going to work out. They were really distant during that 2-week or 10-day. We had 10-day time frame, really distant. Because I just think they may have known that they're just going to get another negative. Like
they were guarding themselves, and protecting themselves.
Yeah. So when it came time, and I went for the beta, did that whole thing, kind of knew the numbers were going to come back bad, not good, not pregnant. And no communication after that. None. None. I tried to call her. I tried to say, I'm so sorry, we can try again. They didn't have any embryos. They didn't know what they were going to do. They didn't know if they were going to keep trying, if they were going to adopt. They just didn't know where they were. And I needed to get going, because that is the journey that paid for nursing school for me. So I couldn't really wait.
And you were about to age out.
I was about to age out. Yep. So that was hard. I get probably they had tons of reasons why there was no communication with me, because we kind of all knew that to continue, it wouldn't be with me.
Yeah.
So they just nothing. I didn't even get to talk to her and say I'm so sorry, and
nothing. Yeah, because then that would be really hard for you, because with closure to that.
Right.
To that.
I called her office. They said no, she's not taking calls, and I know they had already told her. That was a hard one to get over, but my way of coping with that was to get right back on that horse and go get another couple, which we did. And luckily that was successful.
Good.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask both of you this, even though I think I know kind of Mary's answer, because your IP seemed very supportive.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the times girls say, what did I do wrong? Or they feel like it was something that they could have done better or differently, or, for whatever minuscule, not true reason, really. But like, did either of you ever feel that?
Yeah. You want to pinpoint it on something. Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to, what was the reason? And I'd probably have to say in 80% of them, you're never going to know. Probably 90% you're never going to know. It just wasn't meant to be. Like, why did Mary get pregnant this time and didn't last time? Like, there's just it's such a science anymore that back then honestly, you could just blame it on tons of crap, but now it's so good. Science is so good.
Yeah, I feel like it's crazy that anyone gets pregnant ever, with like how everything has to just line up perfectly.
Perfectly.
But definitely. And I remember telling my husband, because I tried to prepare for certain things. That's just kind of my personality. I like as much information as I can have, and to try and have like a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Because then if it goes differently, then I'm like, okay, plan F. we'll go to that route.
Right.
And yeah, I remember crying and just telling my husband, I was like, I know I didn't do anything,
Yeah.
but I still feel that way. Like,
Right.
I just can't help it because it was my body
Mhm.
that for whatever reason rejected. Cause yeah, when I got the call, they said, I had 0 HCG. So it wasn't that it like get attached and there was a little bit, it was just like my body
Nothing.
just,
Yeah.
just kind of, and thinking back, I did the bed rest. I did this, I did that. And just being like, no,
Yeah.
you know, but still having to say that out loud
Yeah.
and have him, and like, I need you to tell me that still. And he's like, well,
Yeah.
of course. I'm like, but I need you to tell me that.
Right. The
Need validation.
reassurance
Mhm.
of it
Yeah,
all
yeah.
from an
Well,
outsider.
Exactly. Yeah. Cause for them, it was their last normal embryo. And they had 3 mosaic after that. And so after the first failed, I had it in my contract that I was just going to do single embryo transfer. And so the fertility doctor reached out and asked, would I be open to having a double since they're mosaic? And we talked about it, and I was like, yeah, sure.
Mary,
so it was even more pressure.
I'm still
Kennedy's like,
learning.
what is
What
mosaic?
in the world is mosaic?
Oh, I should have done my research. I never word it correctly. And I'm probably going to butcher this. So
No, you're
all
okay.
of
No,
all of
you're
the
you're
other
good. What do you
they're going to be
understand
like,
it
wait
to
a
be?
minute. So what I learned a little bit with mosaic is that they're not, so they can be totally normal, but like the tests have either come back inconclusive.
Okay.
So they're not totally cleared. They're so there's just a higher chance of
Different.
complications.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I remember the doctor saying with one embryo, with one normal embryo, it was like an 80% chance of it being successful.
Okay.
With 2 mosaic, I think it went up to like 85%
Okay.
of it being successful. So a single mosaic, I didn't even ask him what that would be. And then there's different grading of the mosaic. So the parents picked the 2 higher rating of the mosaic,
Okay.
versus the mom was going back and forth about like maybe the higher one and then the lowest one in case this doesn't work too. And then we would have like a medium.
Gotcha.
But they ended up going with like the 2 higher, better chance of mosaic.
And there's just one little babe in there right now.
Yeah, just one. I was nervous. Like, I don't want to carry twins. And
Quads.
Potentially that could have been quads. Yeah, potentially.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. Well, and my bigger fear was triplets, because the clinic, they would automatically do fetal reduction, and that was something that that was something that I was turned away from a couple clinics because of my specific termination preferences.
Yeah.
And so that was something that that when they wanted to talk to me about it, and like my agency reached out and they were like, we know your preferences, this is a higher chance. And that's what my only hesitation with doing a double embryo transfer was the possibility of them splitting and then having to do that.
I know this is failed transfers, but now I'm intrigued. The clinic would have done a fetal reduction. The parents had no say.
With signing up with them, and in my contract it said that they would do a reduction down to 2. Yeah. Which when I was doing a single embryo, I was like, the likelihood of a single, that's not.
No way.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But doing a double could do triplets or even quads.
Absolutely.
Possibly.
For sure.
Yeah. And so just trying to prepare for all of that beforehand.
Wow. I find that very interesting that the clinic has that in there, that it's not the parental choice. Because back when I carried them, it was the parental choice, and we fought on that. And because you never think you're going to be in that position. Long story short, blah, blah, blah. Everything worked out for us, but it was very tumultuous. But the clinic didn't have a say. It was the parents who had the say. So that's very interesting to me that it has shifted that way on certain clinics. And I guess for liability reasons, I mean, is there? I don't know.
I don't know. I know that he's been said that he's kind of like an older school. He's probably like in his 60s, and that he's an older school IVF doctor.
I was just curious if that's just definitely a shift change. That if it's a clinic is saying no, that's very interesting to me. Very wow. Okay, keep the surrogate, keep everybody healthy and happy. I guess is maybe, who knows.
Yeah. I think they still have it, just that it's dangerous that, you know, once you go past, and again, hearing your story, Ellen, that your doctor, I love that he was like, once you get into quads, then it's a little more iffy, but
No.
Yeah.
it's
I'm
like,
like, what?
Added one.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
monitor you. We'll make, you know, and if,
Right.
and if problems
This is just like
arise,
twins.
yeah,
Lucky I had a big uterus, man. You're just lucky.
you're like, it's not your body we're talking about.
Right. Pretty
Oh,
much.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, you guys. I've never been through a transfer. Oh God, knock on wood. I hate jinxing myself.
yeah. No,
Um,
I just think how supportive they were, and it was genuine support. It sounds like it wasn't like, oh, we need to do this so we can try again. It was genuine supportiveness.
Oh
So
yeah.
to me, that's crucial. Like if I were ever to do this again, I would
oh,
have to have the support from them.
Yeah.
and now I have a question. Support. Okay, so did either of your agencies reach out to you guys in support regarding the transfer not taking?
Yeah, my coordinator reached out once, because I'm trying to think how, I believe then the clinic follows the agency, because I remember I update my coordinator, you know, just because it's faster to hear
Yeah.
that, and we talk all the time, and she's so sweet. But yeah, she did, you know, she was like, how are you doing? Are you okay? What are your thoughts? And the same, you know, with reaching out once she knew about the double embryo transfer being an option, she wanted to confirm, you know, knowing my preferences. So yeah, I felt really supported by them.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Were you
And
reached out by
no.
yours? You weren't.
They cut ties immediately.
Your
Oh
agency did?
Yep. Yes.
my gosh.
Because I was told going in that because this couple had done egg donation. I mean, they had retrieved their own eggs. They had just been through the gamut. And I was asked to be their surrogate because, like I said, that was not my preference to do it for a heterosexual couple. But since I had success in the last two, my agency was like, hey, listen, we'd really like you to meet them. Did, agreed, everything. Because they didn't have any more eggs to try, any more embryos to try. The agency somehow, I don't want to say it out loud, like not the blame game, but they really literally put all their eggs in one basket thinking, okay, so all we need is a viable embryo and she's going to get pregnant and this couple's going to be happy and get what they need. It didn't happen. I did everything right.
Yeah.
Meds right, bed rest right, everything was correct. It's like you said, Mary, sometimes it just doesn't line up. So when I tried to call the agency to say, hey, listen, I'd like to try again with another couple, they said, well, we're going to take a pause. But I mean, I had to reach out to them. Yep. And I said, can you tell me why you're not accepting me anymore, or why you're taking a pause and we're just not going forward? And from what I remember, the answer I got was just nothing. It was literally, there was no reason. There was just, well, this couple really took it hard. Well, why should that affect me? I don't know. Yeah, it was really odd. So then I was on the hunt again for another agency, and that I just,
Oh my gosh.
and pretty much took the first one that said yes, because I was like, come on, I'm aging out. I got to do this and get it done. So that's where I was. But yeah, it was kind of sad because then I didn't have contact with the couple. The agency felt like
you
they
were left
dropped
alone.
me. Yeah. And that's where a lot of my negative tendencies come from with agencies. I think they're great, but I've had some experience not so great.
Yeah. Well, and also 20 plus years ago.
Exactly. They've
Things
come a
were way
long way.
different.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. Did Mom, you can't answer this because this didn't exist when you were around.
Fine.
But no, but Mary, did you, I mean, it's so great, but like it's so great that your couple was so supportive and that you had supportive people around you. But like, have you made other friends with other surrogates like on social media that have gone through similar experiences, or that you guys have like bonded, or I don't know.
Yes. Yes. So I had two, one that I knew in person and got to talk with her before starting the journey. And then another one that I knew, but she didn't live in town anymore. But then since like starting my Instagram and stuff, there's so many others that that I've been able to befriend and, you know, just kind of chatted with.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know. I feel like I feel like what I needed was like a really good cry.
Yeah.
And well, let me be real, quite a few really good cries.
Yeah.
But I think what really helped me though was one, the intended parents being so supportive and kind.
Huge.
Two, my agency, being there, and then three, knowing that we were going to, once I got the go ahead, that was the thing that I was nervous about, was if we would want to. Oh, go ahead.
No, the go ahead. So yeah, so how does that work then after a transfer doesn't take? Like, do you stop meds cold turkey? Do they keep you on them and like just like rearrange the dosage? Like, are they checking your uterus?
No, so they told me that when the clinic called to tell me, they said, yeah, stop all medication,
Okay.
and then let us know. So they had said that the parents the parents were going to have a meeting with the doctor to see what they wanted to do, what he recommended, and then to let them know if we were going to continue, to let them know the first day of my first cycle.
There we go.
So just that waiting, I think it was like a week until they could meet with their doctor. Because they had said that they wanted to continue, and I had told them I'd wanted to continue, but I didn't know what the doctor would. And just, the same thing, thinking, well, maybe he's going to say, well, it failed once, so I go with her, go with someone else. And so once I got that go ahead, that he said, yes, I think she would be great to continue again. Let's try if you're open to do a double. Then I felt even more encouraged that I was like, okay, we'll do this again. It was still hard, going into it again, because it's like, well, it failed the first time and I did everything that I was supposed to. So what if it fails again? And then knowing that then there was only one more possible chance with these parents. And just feeling so connected to them, and just genuinely, like, I love them. They're so precious. They're some of the sweetest people, so thoughtful, so kind. I can't say enough great things about them. And just wanting them to have their baby.
Of course. Did your protocol change from the first transfer to the second one? Did the doctor kind of just, nope, everything was the same? Okay.
Yeah, exactly the same. Which
then
then
he
also,
believes
then
in
I was
his,
like,
he believes in his protocol. It was just something amiss there that just wasn't supposed to be. Right.
Yeah. And he said too, I was really surprised. Honestly, I was really surprised when it didn't take. And I was like, well, you and me both, buddy.
Oh, he said that to you. Oh.
And not to put blame, but it made me feel a little bit better that I was like, okay, I mean, I know you wouldn't have done this if you didn't think it would work, but still,
Right. Oh, how interesting. Oh my gosh.
Do they know the sex of this one?
They do. It's a little boy. Well, because the thing is that they did a female and a male transfer. So we didn't know. It was kind of like, and so I asked them, I asked them if they were going to do like a gender reveal or anything. And she was like, no, they did like the genetic testing, and I gave her the access to the login. And I was like, let me know when you find out. And if you're willing, if you want to share. And she did. She was like, oh, it's a little boy. So that was fun.
Oh my gosh. Now you're 4 weeks out. So exciting.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's so nice. Again, that like you were able to continue on with the same intended parents, have wonderful support, a transfer that didn't take, because I hate calling them failed transfers, because it just feels like you're getting an F on a paper. It's like, no,
exactly.
Like that's what happened. That's what happened.
But it doesn't mean that success can't happen, because look,
that's what I'm trying to, that's what I'm saying.
True.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And it's all about science. Really.
And I don't know, I firmly believe what's supposed to be. Like, you were supposed to meet these intended parents. God, no, nobody wants to go through a failed transfer, but maybe this little boy is the one who was supposed to be here. Like, I don't know. I just get those weird vibes, and I don't know. I have to go with it.
Or a Halloween baby too. I'm due the 23rd, and I'm like, not that I want to go over, but I'm like, that would just be so fun.
That'd be cute.
It would be cute.
He would get candy every year.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like I had asked people earlier today, like if there's any words of encouragement or anything like that. It's because it's not like we have an hour to tell it. There's you can't fill up an hour of like, oh yes, the transfer didn't take. And we tried again. Like,
and what happened? Yeah.
Right. But the main feeling that people get from when transfers don't take is that it's their fault. At least this is what everybody, talks about it. Like, oh, I feel like it was put on me, or I was the one to blame, or, I didn't get the support that I had hoped for, that I was looking for. And so basically people were writing in saying like, it wasn't your fault, but somebody said, you didn't fail anyone. Feel all your feelings before moving to your second transfer, which I think that's
nice
great
one.
advice.
That is.
Very
But
great.
we as women are so hard on ourselves, not just on transfers, but in everything. Every aspect of our lives, our work, our being moms, being daughters, being sisters, being wives. Like, we're very, very hard on ourselves. We want to do for everyone. So it's very natural to think you failed. You didn't. And I'm not just talking to you, Mary, but everybody. You didn't fail. It's just the process didn't work that time. So try it again if everybody's amicable to do so, and that there's more embryos to do it with. Oh no, they were frozen. They were all frozen, right?
Yes.
Frozen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if fresh is done anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, they're done.
That was a big deal 20 years ago. Like, you do fresh because it's way better than frozen, because the science wasn't there. Yeah.
And I don't think they're as common anymore, because a lot of the times people will live out of state, or people will live out of the country. So like, that's not really a plausible thing anymore. But Mary, do you have any advice for anybody?
I mean, yeah, I feel the same. It's not your fault. I feel therapy is, if everyone could benefit from therapy.
Love therapy.
Just trying, not having negative thoughts, but trying, if that's your personality, trying to prepare. If for some reason it doesn't take. And then I would say the last one is, which I'm speaking to myself as much as everyone else, is try and think, what would you say to someone, like a friend going through it? You would not be that hard on them. You would encourage them. You would love on them. You would tell them all the supportive things. Try and tell that to yourself, because
that's good advice. That really is.
That's great advice. Yeah, because we always want to be harder on ourselves.
Yeah.
And more
always
of others, like, oh girl, it wasn't you, don't even worry about it, like, brush it. But like, when it comes to us, it's like, we're perfect people. I got pregnant with my kids so easily. Why is this not working? And it's like, well, because like we said earlier, 1,000 things literally have to align in order for it to work. It's crazy when you really look down at the science of like how much actually has to line up in order for it to take. Like, it's not just the shots. The shots have to be doing their work, and like it has to be the right amount, and like it's so much. But also, always reach out. I can advocate for Instagram people. I don't know about Facebook people, but always reach out to Instagram people.
Yes.
Surrogates are sweet.
It's a good community.
And a great community. Great community.
Yes.
Very sweet.
Mary, do we have you scheduled to like come back on for yourself?
You do. I just signed up.
Mary.
January? Okay. Mary, are you trying to go like when labor starts, then we're going to the hospital? If everything goes to plan, I'm not saying if you hit 40 weeks and now you're late and all that stuff, but if everything goes normal, that's the plan?
Yes. So I am one of those kind of more strange people. Like, I love birth and labor. I'm a birth and labor doula. My dream was, like, I had my third one at home in my living room. And so I love it. It's fascinating to me.
If I could have an epidural and do that, sure, I'll do that.
My preference was the birth center, and we were on board with that. It was all a go. And then my husband had to change jobs and insurance, like not even halfway, but close to it. And it changed everything. So we are in the hospital. But I had my first two in the hospital, and my second was unmedicated. And so I'm like, I got this. So yes, the plan is to labor some at home, but since I labor so quickly, I'm not looking to be in transition driving to the hospital.
Right, exactly.
So once I'm pretty sure that it's a go and they're pretty consistent, then to the hospital we go.
Okay.
Oh my
And the
God.
hospital's pretty supportive. Like they're going to give them a room and all that, the good stuff. I know we'll hear this in your story, but the plan. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's the plan, but it's again, it's like if it's
Availability.
available.
Yeah.
Right.
And my
Right.
doctor has like all the parents have FaceTimed for every appointment. And so like he knows the situation. And currently the hospital that I'm delivering has a max of three support people. So my husband, the two intended parents, but I
Yay.
really, really wanted to have a doula. And so I asked my doctor and I was like, since it's kind of a different situation, what are your thoughts? And he was supportive of it. So
Great.
I'm really hoping that I get my doula friend in
That
there
would be
too.
lovely.
So many
Yes.
people are
That
doulas, and I'm like, I gotta look this up for my last journey.
Oh,
I gotta
girl.
look it up.
Right. And
Girl,
because
I mean,
they focus on you. That's why I'm like, it should be a
yes.
no-brainer that doula is in there for
So,
you,
but a
Yes,
Mary.
especially for a surrogate, I feel.
Yes.
So, but a doula is just during delivery, not throughout your pregnancy, right? A midwife is throughout your pregnancy.
Oh, well, no. So it depends on when you sign up. So I had one of my doula clients, we signed up at, I think she was like 32 weeks. And then another one was like, she got the positive pregnancy test and she was like, hey, you want to be my doula? So
Wait,
it was
Mary,
just
are
the
you
whole
a doula?
process. Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
are a doula. Oh my God.
I'm
That's
pretty
super
new
fun.
to it. Well, officially
Okay.
pretty new to it. I've done it
Okay.
unofficially for a few friends. But yeah, it's just, so she would just text me whenever she had her appointments, and she would text me, like she had mentioned she had like a past of anxiety and depression. So she was like, I'm really nervous going into this. So anytime she would feel any of those thoughts, she would, talk it out with her husband and her therapist, but she would also talk to me and be like, what are your thoughts? And then, we would have a few in-person prenatal appointments talking about like labor positions, what to expect. And then there for the birth, and then also postpartum. With some of my clients, I've done 1 or 2 visits where we just kind of like process the birth. But yeah, I feel again, especially everyone, again, I'm a little biased, but I feel like
Agreed.
everyone can benefit from a doula, but especially surrogates, because the height, from what I'm anticipating, the height of it is then, the parents have the baby, and as long as they're in the room, but then they go. And then it's just you and your partner. And for me, something that I've expressed to my doula, that's very important, is in the hospital that the moment, especially if I'm kind of in labor land and not really with it as much, if any of the nurses refer to me as the mom, the doula, her instructions are to immediately speak up and say, nope, that's the mom. She's a laboring person. That's the mom.
Nice.
Because I said, like, my fear is I'll be in labor land and I'll hear it and I'll be like, someone needs to say something. So it's her job. My husband has also been instructed. But yeah, just because my intended mom is a little more soft spoken, and I don't know that she would speak up, especially, wanting me to be safe, wanting the baby to be safe, and being like, that might be kind of a small thing. But to me, that's really, really important that all of the staff know immediately she's the mom.
Yeah.
You're awesome, Mary. Yeah.
No, I love that, because
it.
it also, like, it's not something that you think of going into it, like thinking, oh, they're gonna call me the mom, like just because, like, when you're in that zone, you're just like, I'm the surrogate, like I know who I am, so like all of the people around me should know who I am. But somebody does call the surrogate the mom, it might take away a special moment from mom, and like that's
exactly.
So like I love that.
No, I think it's great you told your doula and your husband. I think that's fantastic. Yep. Doulas were so new back when I did this, and I'm like, I had one friend who used one, and she was like the only person like in our little group, and I was like, how'd that go? And she raved. She raved about it because she did it for gay men, and she wasn't married. She had a daughter on her own. And she just raved about it. And I was like, nah, I got this because I'm just strong-willed. I got this. I don't need a doula. But now,
girl.
if I did it now, oh, heck yes. Heck yes.
Yes.
And there was a big thing back then where she tried to get the doula paid. She wanted the services paid. She wanted that in her contract.
Yeah.
And the agency was just kind of like, I don't know about that. But her couple was like, absolutely put it in there.
Oh, funny.
Now look at it. It's totally
and now
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, everybody, like, do you want a doula? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm learning.
I love it.
You do want a doula.
Okay, I know. So many people tell me I do. So I will. I will happily take it because my boyfriend is a part of this journey more so than my mom is this time. So he's gonna experience it. So I don't think that I think that it'd be nice to just be like, let's have the doula here and she'll speak up and he can just be like, oh, this is like how birthing goes and everything. And so it's like, there you go.
And the doula is there also. So the doula's main purpose is there to support the laboring person, but also their partner. Their partner so much. So it's they're not only they're like a physical body. So if the partner is like feeling lightheaded or something, they'd be like, hey, you're not looking too good. Why don't you sit down? Why don't you get a drink of water or go take a walk? So they're watching them too, because that's kind of the last thing that you need is the partner fainting or it being really traumatic for the partner. So the doula kind of educating them along the way of like, hey, this is what the doctor just said is happening. This is what you can expect. And a lot of that is said beforehand, but you forget stuff. So saying that or saying like with one of my clients, I saw tools getting out and I looked at the husband and I said, hey, the doctor is getting these tools out. You might want to go talk to him and ask him what he's planning to do right now, because me saying something means nothing. It's their clients. They need their clients, the birthing person or the partner, to say something. And he did, and he went over and he was like, oh, I'm getting ready to do a episiotomy. And we were like, it's not in her birth weight. That's not in her birth weight.
Oh, wow. Was this recently?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, there was.
I didn't know they still did episiotomies, because the last I heard was that at least where I gave birth, they don't do them. They let you tear naturally unless it's like mandatory, like it has to happen. But they don't, where I birthed, they don't believe in that anymore.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. But a lot of, especially old school doctors. So one of my clients, it was in her birth plan. We talked about it. My primary doctor was not there. He was a doctor on call, and he was very old school. I could tell the moment he walked in, it was my show. He was telling her, honey, quiet down. You're going to scare the other women on the ward. And I looked at my client and said super loudly, you make whatever noises you want to make. You get this baby out how you want to get this baby out. But he literally picked up before. So I was talking to my client. She was having an especially hard time. And I was just kind of close to her face and talking to her because there was so much going on. Yeah. And I turn and look, and he had just given her an episiotomy. And I said so loudly, she did not want that. And he just completely ignored me.
What?
Yeah. And it's like, she did not give you her consent. That's her body. It was not needed. The baby was not in peril. Wow. The baby came out so quickly. Great APGAR scores, great color, all the things. But it was just, that's what he did. And he just did it.
Wow.
Absurd.
Yeah. That's really like an invasion. It's crossing a line. Let's put it. That's what I want to say. It's crossing a line. Don't do that crap. God.
Yeah. Wow. It was so upsetting in so many levels.
Oh, I can't blame her. Oh, I can't blame her. I had one and didn't even ask for it. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. I had no clue. Baby was born in 59 minutes. From the minute contraction started to minute baby was in arms, 59 minutes. I'm like, you think I could get it
talk about you birthing quickly? This woman over here shoots them out like they're coming out of a water park.
Like, had I not gotten to the hospital, baby would have been born in the toilet. Like, it's that.
Oh
it was like, what is that? I guess that's a head. I don't know. It was just weird. But like, why? And I never got to go back and ask, why did you do the episiotomy? I never got to go back and ask. And it never healed all the way. So now I have a small, tiny tear on my perineum.
I'm sorry.
No, it's no big deal. It doesn't matter. But it's just, that's interesting. Why is that there? Well, that's your episiotomy did that.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah. But it was a thing back then. They did them all the time.
I know they did them all the time.
He did it without asking or man.
Yeah. It's really frustrating. I know there are incredible doctors out there. Incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's really hard when you get some that are really stuck in their ways.
Yeah. Wow.
They're great. Yeah. I love my doctor. I wouldn't do this without mine. He's all my babies, and so he will do my last surrogate baby, and then he can retire.
I love it. Like, I give you my blessing.
Yeah, I'm like, you've been in the game long enough. You've helped me bring in 5 babies. You can retire off that.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. We covered it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wish there was more to say on it. but there's really not a heck of a lot of advice and like a lot of different things that people can do. Just the pure fact that you are not alone, and lots of women go through, you know, transfers that don't take. I mean,
And the takeaway is not, it's not you. It's not your fault. You didn't fail. You didn't fail. The transfer failed. It wasn't you. It was the transfer. Yeah.
Have that good cry, like Mary said.
Yes.
Or a few.
Yeah, or a few. Yeah, exactly.
Well, good luck, Mary.
Yes.
For the next 4 weeks.
I know.
Thank you.
Positive vibes coming your way, and you and your
All of
couple.
Thank
I hope it's
you.
magical. Really,
Thank
seriously.
you.
I know. I'm so
I hope
excited for
so.
you to like. Sorry, I cut you off, but I'm excited for you to like have that moment, because like you love your IPs. You guys have such a good bond, and like once you reunite them with their baby, I'm excited for you to feel that, because obviously you hear everybody talk about that, but that
like a
you're gonna do
high,
this
like
again
nobody
tomorrow.
else. Yeah,
right. And and that was something that was in our birth preference. The agency sends a birth preference to them and to me, and we got to do it one of the times they visited. And one of the questions was like, how long do you want the intended parents? It was on my portion. How long do you want the intended parents in your room? And I like said to them, you know, you're welcome as long as you're comfortable. I don't want it to like selfishly be like, please stay. I want to see all this. But the dad spoke up and he was like, if you're okay with us being there, like you've been on this journey with us. We want you to get to see, we want you to get to witness us being parents. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yes, please.
Wow. That was from the intended dad?
Yes.
Wow. I could just see Mary, her intended mom, and her intended dad, and this baby all sharing that little hospital bed. I can just see it. Like,
I know.
And snapping that picture and going, Instagram, here we come. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I am so excited. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Oh,
I hope everything goes well. It will. More all the positive vibes, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can't wait to hear your story after.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to be back.
It'll be in the new year.
Yeah.
New story in the new year. Love it. Well, thank you
Mary.
so much.
Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh
absolutely.
Gosh, yes.
Anytime. All right. Have a good night.
See you
Bye,
later.
ladies.
Bye.
She was delightful.
And she's a doula.
Oh,
So fun.
that's so fun.
To be a doula and have a surrogate, like a surrogate journey under your belt. Like, how perfect are you
Get
to
any
be
more calm? Like,
right. To be a doula for like surrogates and to be a doula for just regular and moms
fun.
and more power to her. God, that's great.
No, that is great.
Yes.
But okay, this is I don't like calling them failed transfers.
Nah, just didn't take. Transfer that didn't take.
Yeah. So
It happened.
Yeah, if anybody's out there and they've experienced this and they would like to drop some advice on or encourage words of encouragement for others who have been through this and maybe didn't get the support that that Mary was lucky to have, and that some other women are lucky to have, please do so. And if you guys would like to share your story, please feel free to reach out to me at Stop.Sit.Surrogate on Instagram.
It's been another edition of Friday Facts with Stop.Sit.Surrogate and Kennedy and Ellen. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.